Hello again, everyone. Kevin Lozier, Fedway's Master of Whiskey, coming to you again today from the Mixology Lab, the laboratory here at Fedway's corporate headquarters in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. We're going to talk single malt today. Specifically, we're going to talk about the Classic Malts. Now, Classic Malts is a portfolio from Diageo that showcases a leading distillery in all the main whiskey-producing regions in Scotland. So the three that we're going to focus on today, we're going to talk about Dalwhinnie 15 from the Highlands, Oban 14-year from the Highlands, the coastal Highlands on the west coast of Scotland, and we're going to finish off with Lagavulin 16 from Islay. Now, Dalwhinnie is a 15-year-old single malt that's from the Highlands. Highland whiskeys, as we know, they're lighter, they're softer, they're more gentle, they're easier to enjoy, they're more approachable, if you will. Now, this is no exception. 15 years in former bourbon barrels. On the nose, it's very light, it's very soft. A little bit of a faint peat smoke in there. Some vanilla, some caramel, a little bit of a faint, almost a floral note, a heathery note in there as well. Very elegant, very easy to drink, very approachable. A lot of those same vanilla, caramel, butterscotch, a little bit of soft pineapple note in there as well, a little bit of spice, and a nice long warming finish. A very well-balanced, elegant whiskey, Dalwhinnie. All right, now we're going to talk about Oban. Oban's another Highland distillery, coastal Highlands, right on the west coast of Scotland, the last distillery on the mainland. Oban, for me, is kind of a tour of Scotland in a glass. You get the sweetness of Speyside, the elegance and the approachability in a single malt that you'd get out of a Highland whiskey, the richness and a little bit of peat smoke and the maritime influence of Islay, all rolled up into one in one bottle. On the nose, it's much bigger, it's much more rich and aromatic than Dalwhinnie. A little bit of smoke in there, a little bit of that sweetness as well. For me, right on the tip of the tongue when you taste it, a very distinct saltiness. The distillery sits very close to the water, so that maritime air really hits the distillery, and you pick up some of that saltiness on the front of the tongue. Behind that, a beautiful sweetness, some nice richness, dried fruit, a little bit of chocolate in there, and a real soft, long, elegant, warming finish. Oban 14. All right, let's continue going out west in Scotland. Let's talk about Lagavulin. Let's talk about Islay. Now, Islay is a real small island off the west coast of Scotland, known in whiskey circles to produce the most pungent, most aromatic single malts generally produced anywhere on the globe. And let's specifically talk about Lagavulin. Now, this Lagavulin is a 16-year-old. It's aged in a combination of both former bourbon and former sherry barrels. That's what will give it a little bit of a darker color. Now, on the nose, it's got a lot of that medicinal, a lot of that briny sea salt character. To me, it's reminiscent of walking on the beach with a kind of a bonfire in the distance where the smoke doesn't overwhelm you, but you know it's definitely there. That's exactly what I get out of the nose of this single malt. Now, on the palate, island whiskeys are big, they're bold. This is no exception. A lot of flavor, a lot of complexity going on here. A little bit of spice, a little bit of saltiness on the front of the tongue. Behind that, a big wave of dark smoke, kind of tobacco, a little bit of a licorice note in there as well. Behind that, some soft sweetness as well, and a very long, very deep, rich, warming finish. A very elegant, very well tied together single malt, if you will, Lagavulin 16.